They're shocked, absolutely stunned,
Most of the time,
because they never expected the sweetness to have a shadow. They thought your kindness was your weakness. They thought your gentleness was your ceiling. They thought your softness meant you'd always stay soft. But they forgot the oldest truth. Even angels have a dark side, and the brightest halos cast the longest shadows. They only ever saw the version of you that healed, understood, forgave. They never imagined there was another version, one that remembers, one that learns, one that evolves. And now that version is standing in front of them, and they don't know how to breathe. Your kindness made them bold. Your patience made them careless. Your silence made them think you were harmless. But sweet doesn't mean stupid. Kind doesn't mean blind. Soft doesn't mean powerless. They played with your heart thinking it had no limits, no edges, no boundaries. They thought you'd always absorb the damage and smile through the pain. But you weren't built to break, you were built to transform. So when their disrespect finally crossed that invisible line, when they pushed you one step too far, when they mistook your grace for weakness, you didn't explode. You shifted, and that shift terrified them more than any anger ever could, because you didn't yell, you didn't beg, you didn't chase, you didn't argue. You just became someone they never wanted to meet. The version of you that doesn't tolerate, doesn't reason, doesn't excuse. They're shaken because the same hands that once held them so gently now refuse to touch anything that drains your peace. The same heart that once forgave everything now forgives nothing that threatens your growth. The same soul that once prioritized them now prioritizes its own healing. It confuses them. This duality of light and shadow, sweetness and silence, softness and steel. They can't understand how the warmest presence they ever knew can turn into the coldest absence they've ever felt. But when someone forces the angel to fall, what rises is never the same. You didn't become evil. You became exactly what their actions demanded. A boundary, a consequence, a mirror. They're scared because the mask has dropped. Not yours, but theirs. And now they're left staring at a version of you that sees right through them. They never expected to lose access to the soft version of you. But once you switch lanes, once you understand your worth, once you disconnect emotionally, the sweet version becomes a death they can't reverse. Now they tell everyone you changed, when the truth is, you just stopped entertaining what was killing you. And here's the part that haunts them the most. You can still be kind. You can still be sweet. You can still be gentle, just not for them. They're shocked because they thought they could break you, without awakening the part of you that doesn't forget, doesn't fold, doesn't fall apart. They didn't create a monster. They created a wiser version of you. One that refuses to let anyone play with your heart twice. And now they have to live with a truth more painful than karma. They turned an angel cold, and now they'll never feel that warmth again. They're shocked because they never imagined your evolution would be this silent, this ruthless, this final. They thought if you ever changed, it would be dramatic tears, anger, screaming, emotional chaos. But instead you shifted with elegance, like a door closing without a sound. And that quietness, that's what terrifies them most. They can't understand how someone so gentle could become so unreachable. How someone who once moved mountains for them can now walk past them like they're dust in the air. How the same eyes that once sparkled at their presence now treat them like a distant blur. They expected your coldness to be temporary, a phase, a moment of hurt, a bruise that would fade. But they didn't expect it to become permanent. They didn't expect your softness to turn into strategy. They didn't expect your kindness to gain teeth. They thought they knew every version of you, but they never met the version that rises after betrayal, the version that no longer protects the people who hurt you. They once believed your heart was their playground, Now they understand it was a privilege, and privileges get revoked when abused. They whisper to themselves late at night, wondering how you became so distant, so locked in, so emotionally untouchable. They try to rewind time in their heads, replaying every moment where they confused your kindness for naivete. And each memory stings them harder than the last. Your coldness bothers them not because it's cruel, but because it's fair. They know deep down that they earned it. They know your silence isn't punishment, it's truth. A truth they don't want to face. They remember the version of you that cared too much. The version of you that gave second, third, fourth chances. The version of you that always explained yourself, always tried, always hoped. That version is gone now. And its absence haunts them more than your presence ever did. Your distance is a mirror they don't want to look into, because staring at it means confronting the fact that they ruined the best thing that ever reached out to them. They lost someone who would have carried them through storms. Now they're alone in the thunder they created. They're angry, not because you became cold, but because they've run out of excuses to justify their behavior. They can't play victim anymore. They can't twist the narrative. They can't manipulate your empathy. The game ended the moment you chose yourself. Your transformation forced them to face their own reflection. The lies, the disrespect, the carelessness, the betrayal. They don't fear your coldness. They fear being exposed by it. You were sweet because your heart was built that way, not because you were weak. You were kind because you understood pain, not because you couldn't inflict it. You were gentle because you valued peace, not because you didn't know how to destroy. But they mistook all of it. And now they see the version of you they should have never awakened. The version that loves silently, leaves silently, and evolves loudly. Your coldness is not revenge. It's clarity. It's closure. It's the end of a chapter they thought they could reopen anytime. They're shocked because you no longer react, no longer defend, no longer explain, no longer soften your edges for people who sharpen theirs on you. They can feel the shift in the air when you walk in.